I am Angry Bird. This is it. We've reached the end, or well, not quite the end. We've still got one more week left, but we're at Steel Division League Group 1. We're finishing off coverage, or I am finishing off my coverage of Steel Division League Group 1. So for the rest of this week, we're concentrating on Group 1 and we're going to get the coverage finished. So what I've done is I've updated results to the current picture minus the games left to play. So the results here don't include the games left, but I thought I'd give you a feel for the picture as it currently stands. Gnef in 4th place with 10 points, joint with Amberty and Hiroba in 5th and 6th, but with games in hand. Today we're going to see him against Solo Wing Pixy, so Gnef will really need to pick up the victory, otherwise Solo Wing Pixy will clearly cement his 3rd place position, or potentially actually challenge for 2nd as well, depending on results for Gonzo. Gonzo 15 points, currently unbeaten, 5 games played, 5 wins, but he's still got a little way to go. Sean has played 7, he is currently in 1st position, 6 wins, 1 draw. So really, if Gonzo, you know, wins his next game, and then we get the Gonzo versus Sean games as well, Gonzo's gonna need to I mean, potentially we could have a draw at the top if Gonzo and... No, sorry. If Gonzo and Sean draw, but Gonzo wins his other games, Gonzo can still win this. So, anyway, it's all going to come down, I think, to that Gonzo versus Sean matchup. Let's have a look at today's match. We have Solo Wing Pixy versus Gnef. And this is really a battle at the moment for 3rd place as it stands. Solo Wing Pixy playing the 5th Viking Panzer Division, or 5th SS Panzer Viking on Vanguard income, up against Gnef playing the 25th Panzer Grand on also on Vanguard income. We saw this map yesterday. Hopefully you can just make out the bend in the river there. This is Bobar. I say yesterday, I meant the previous game that we've casted. But yeah, so interestingly we saw a kind of lighter equipped division with a Ziricure take on the Panzer with those Panthers, and in that game the Panthers won out. In this game I would say the 25th Panzergren, the more lightly equipped division. Certainly in terms of tanks we've got those Stugs, but the 5th Viking, we've got the deck in front of us, plenty of infantry, and fairly balanced matchup infantry stakes. Obviously 2 Axis divisions mostly relying on Panzergrens. The big difference is in the tank department. We've got a Panzer T-34-85 in A phase, and then we've got the Panther A and the Panther D, as well as the Jagdpanzer, and those Jagdpanzers did a great job in that previous game. And I feel like that's what's going to win or lose this. In the anti-air tab we've got a couple of flat villains in phase B. Fighter wise though, we've only got Ju-88 G1s. Now they can be good sort of in pairs, but they are not very maneuverable, so if they get caught out in a one-on-one dogfight, I expect the ME-109 G4s in Gnef's 25th Panzergren division will win out against those, and that may secure the air for the ME-410s, which could do a fantastic job of taking on those Panthers. I really feel like if those ME-410s come out, Solo Wing Pixy will need to be on the anti-air as quickly as possible to prevent multiple kills, because in the previous game we saw a hell of a lot of P3 strikes, but they aren't as effective as the ME-410s can be. So Solo Wing Pixy is definitely going to need his anti-air. In terms of Gnef though, like we said, those Stug 3Gs aren't going to face off very well against the armour on the side of the 5th Viking, and both players playing Vanguard, so it's not as if the Gnef has an early advantage with this 25th Panzergren deck, which you do sometimes get with the 25th Panzergrens. They are often taken as a a vanguard division against something more balanced. I feel like Gnef is going to have to secure an early bridgehead. The upside to both being on vanguard income is his equipment is probably on balance cheaper than the 5th Viking equipment. Like I say, I think the infantry is fairly balanced, but those Panthers and those Jagdpanzers, they're much more expensive than the 70-point Stug 3Gs. So that could play a part, and I think the Pack 40s in A, B phase, and the Pack 43s in B phase as well will also need to play a big part in this game. So both players just kicking off the game. Solo Wing Pixy on the left hand side in blue, playing the 5th Panzer Viking Division. Starts off with an Aufklar Panzer 3M. Looks like he's targeting a southern central push. This southern central flag, very easy to take from the left hand side. The routes into this position from the right are very difficult. I almost find the best place is to swing them down south along this road and then down, but it opens you up to early fire at this point. On the right hand side, Gnef looking for a breakthrough down south and in the central area. I mean, down south though, he only has really the what is that, the SDKFZ 250/8, no other armoured unit. And that Panzer 3M is going to come into play at some point. I'm not sure how successful he's going to be down south. In the centre though, looks like he's going to make some exceptional ground right now. The Flammenwerfers racing across the bridge in those BMW motorcycles. The Panzergrens with Panzerfaust behind. The MG42 going to take up a nice position to pound the Panzergrens, just unloading from Solo Wing Pixy, along with the 2 SBW 233s, and a lot of ground to be captured here. Solo Wing Pixy has left this flag open, all of his resources a bit further north. So the one flag that he kind of left open, Gnef has targeted. So I don't know whether I want to say that's lucky, but I feel like Gnef definitely made the right choice targeting that flag. Solo Wing Pixy has managed to get the 2 Flammenwerfers into position. A Stoss Troop versus Flammenwerf engagement coming up. And then down in the southern sides, I feel like over time the Panzergrens of Solo Wing Pixy will win out against the majority Ersatztruppen. The Panzerschreck could get in position to take out this Panzer 3M, which would be a nice kill, but I don't think they're going to be able to stay into that position longer. I think Gnef's going to have to fall back, just secure the bridge, make sure there's no further movements across. The Flammenwerfers engage with each other. We just had a stutter there, apologies for that. And a couple taking each other down. The Pioneers actually getting involved from afar, and Gnef manages to pick that flag up with the Stoss Troop there, probably due to the Molotov cocktails, although I'm not sure if this was played with those Molotov cocktails at the time. I'm trying to remember back, think whether this was a patch change or not. The SBW 233s that made it across this central bridge are actually pushing very far southwards and could well... oh, they're actually pushing into the rear. But this Pack 38 is in a nice little position to... It's going to have to turn itself completely around. But a gun jam on the first one. Gnef has exploded, so the rear one has revealed it, should I say. So the rear one will engage, but I think it's going to go down as well. Yes, it does. And I think Solo Wing Pixy's fairly lucky there to get away with that. That could have been a real nice manoeuvre. But as it stands, Gnef, he's got Ersatztruppen and Stoss Troop in this forest. But up against Pioneers, I feel like the Pioneers should win that out. I think they're just getting overwhelmed in terms of the amount of infantry there. The southern side, Solo Wing Pixy, is definitely cleared up, and it's just a case of Gnef holding that position now, making sure that Solo Wing Pixy doesn't come across the bridge. But we have a 12-12. The Stoss Trooping that were in this southern compound have gone down. Yes, and I was just seeing what all of that fire was down there, but yeah, they've gone down. 2 mortars in from Gnef, 2 81mm mortars fairly early, and actually firing off on a bad position to start with. The Panzergrens have made it across the river into the forest, and have liked these to concentrate fire into this central area. But Gnef behind enemy lines, just forcing, well, not really behind enemy lines, but across the river on the bridgehead, just pushing through Panzergrenz in the trucks, and nothing's stopping him right now. Soloing Pixy reinforcing the central area, but I'd be very worried about this flag right now. If time is given to Gnef to continue to reinforce this position, it could become a nice defensive area for him. The mortars coming in, and 4 SDKFZ 250/8s, only the HE shells coming in, but no anti-tank on the side of Soloing Pixy's Panzergrenz. The Jagdpanzer IV is making its way up. We'll deal with them easy, but potentially these could take out a few infantry units. We'll have to see how that progresses. The Pack 38, what's that engaging? Oh, that is engaging the SDKFZ 250/8s as they came across. I think one of them was taken down by that Pack 38. There's a bailout. Oh, lovely little Pack 40 been brought in. And this is what I was saying about Soloing Pixy giving time for Gnef to reinforce. Look at that Pack 40 position. I would not have expected a Pack 40. If I was Soloing Pixy, I can see why he lost that tank. I would not have been expecting a Pack 40 there at this early stage of the game, only 5 minutes in. But he did not react to this central push. The Flammenwerfers came in, no reaction, and well, the reaction, he did order 2 tanks, but they were just too slow and took too long to get there. Allowed that Pack 40 to get into position, some reinforcing Panzergrenz, and Gnef definitely has a nice little bridgehead there. If you can just continue to clear up the central area, then I can see this doing very well for him. If he can then pour resources in over that bridgehead, he can certainly win out. The loader kill goes down onto one of the half tracks, but it does give the Pioneer a chance to unload. The Pack 40, unlucky. I think they're unlucky not to take out that half track, but the Pioneers pinned down. They're losing men at range. A Ju-88 G1 coming in there to strafe the Pack 40, and at least these can do a great job of strafing, because although they are very unmaneuverable, they do have 4 20mm cannons on them. And look at the way that Soloing Pixy's microing this G1 behind. He's trying to get in line to the Bergpanther and the AA unit there. I think that's probably a Flak 37. Yeah, Flak 43 37mm. Is going to give him the advantage, I think. Wing damage on the Ju-88 G1, another one in the south, and I think Soloing Pixy is going to hold off control of the air for now, especially with the Me-109 turning back in to the site. Ooh, and if that Ju-88 gets behind this Me-109, he is going down straight away, but doesn't even need it. Doesn't even need it. Let's take a quick look at the Bergpanther. This is the first time on my channel that we're seeing the Bergpanther. So we'll take a quick look. So this is the, I think this is a Panther chassis? Someone's going to correct me, I'm sure. A Panther chassis with a 20mm cannon on. And this was really to deal with the heavy tanks, tow them out of place, I believe, and recover those heavy tanks. Let's get back to the action, not concentrate too much there. Pack 3850 making its way very far forward into a lovely position to hit the rear lines. Another Bergpanther coming in with the Flak 43 to help out with those air engagements. So I think Soloing Pixy definitely has the air cover for now, although, wow, Gnef reacting with 3 Flak 38 20mm. That will certainly help him out. Panther A, I think that's the first Panther on the field coming into the southern side, but the Pack 38 firing on the Panzer IV Fuhrer, I think that's going to go down. Gun jam, that's good enough. Surrender on one of the remaining Panzergrenz. There is one behind enemy lines at the moment. The G1 coming in, strafing the SDKFZ 250/10. Forcing that back, and does go down to the second strafing run. Although these strafing runs were nerfed on the main fighters, these are heavy fighters, and because they've got the 420mm cannons, they do remain fairly decent. Nowhere near their original strength. The first Bergpanther of the channel does go down to the Pak 3850. The Jagdpanzer is now engaging, and I feel like the Pak 38 is going to struggle against the heavier armor. It's out of its APCR, so only 100 mils of penetration. I feel like that Jagdpanzer's fairly safe for now, and is taking shots at the Pak 38. It's going to go down, surely. Next shot. Wow, I think it was lucky to escape that second shot. And Gnef now moving it, but it's going to go down. I cannot believe this 1 health AT gun is not going down right now. The G1 is coming in, continuing to strafe the 250/10s. Down goes the Pak 38, but just in time. It's held off long enough for a Pak 40 to get into position, and that will wreak havoc on the back lines. That thing can do some serious damage, even without its APCR at 105mm of penetration on the AP. The free flak 38 20mm unload, and they will keep at bay these Ju-88 G1 strafing runs. And now they're on the field, and potentially they could even shoot down this pilot injured one if it comes into the right line of sight for them. Gnef still has a foothold over the bridge. 15-9 he has due to the southern flags as well. Well, this entire southern central area is controlled by Gnef, and there's really only kind of 3 tanks trying to push back. We've got that Pak 40 must have gone down. Potentially went down in the transport to a lucky or a shot from one of the tanks. There's another Pak 38 coming in, a Panzergren Führer as well. The Panzergrens are pushing south, but I think they're going to get taken out by the Pioneers with the satchel charges. Another Panzergren goes down. I'm not sure exactly what that went down to. The Ju-88 is still in play, targeting the Pak 40 in the middle, who takes down the Pioneer. The Panzer 3M is also engaging, that's engaging the Panzergrens a bit further back. The Ju-88 strafing runs are going to come in. Will that take out the Pak? Yes. The combined strafing runs there do take it out, and really they were allowed to happen because Gnef moved his flak 38s into this heavy cover, and it really restricts the sight lines for those flat guns, and that really allowed that strafing run to take place. I think if he hadn't moved them, they'd have been in a better position. But interestingly as well, the commandant coming in, is that close enough to offer the 2-star buff? At the moment it is, but when they all move positions, I'm not sure whether Gnef will continue to get the 2-star buff onto the flak 3820s. But at 2 stars with 3 of them, that's a pretty decent anti-air there. Solo Wing Pixy investing in Panzergrens and a Jagdpanzer to retake the southern side. The second reinforcing Pak 38 went down as well. So we've had 3 Pak guns in this area have all gone down. And really I think the Panzer 4H Führer, there wasn't a Berg Panther that went down as well, but I would have expected more from them. The SDK said 251/1 does start firing on the Flammenwerfers, and that should take away them, and potentially should take away a flag as well, especially with the movement of the Pioneers here. Should recover it back to a 1410 any moment now, and that commandant is still got the wide enough command radius to give those flaks the 2-star, and we've certainly got up-vetted Pioneers down here with the Panzergren Führer up to 3 stars on those Pioneers. And they're holding off pretty well, moving in for the kill. I think onto the Panzergrens should be with a satchel charge. Yeah, it should come in now. Yeah, there goes the satchel charge, so that should be an easy victory from there. Some smoke coming down, I'm thinking must have been from the 81mm back there. Potentially it could have been a Flammenwerfer's. 2 SPW 231s coming in to reinforce, and so far Gnef has held back this push. There's really the Jagdpanzer 4 that's retreating. It's still a heavy threat here, but Gnef has certainly held back that push. More Panzergrens coming in to reinforce. We are still at a 59. This flag did not switch over despite the Flammenwerf losing, although the half track did go down. The Berg Panther is opening fire on those Panzergrens with the Panzerfaust. The flag does now switch. 1410, a second flag recovered here as well earlier. Potentially this flag could change as well. We could be seeing at least a stabilisation of the front line for Solo Wing Pixy here. Yeah, back to 1311. Just really this southern flag now. And this Panzergren's the only troop left across the river, so despite Gnef having such a great position early on, down goes the Ju-88G1 to the free flak 3820s. Despite that commanding early start over that central bridgehead, Gnef's decided to concentrate most of his forces in this southern area. And is that a good decision? Is it a bad decision? I'm not sure yet. We'll have to wait and find out. We will have to wait and find out. It looks like Solo Wing Pixy is starting to take up a few of these positions up on this hill, potentially affect this northern area. The Pack 40, yeah, Pack 40 coming in to cover off against the advance over this central ground. The Ju-88G1, oh, an ME410. I did not see that come in. The Ju-88 is trying to deal with it, and there's a flak 43 a bit further up. If this gets behind, it's going to go down surely. Oh, it was just unlucky. It cannot get the right line. I think that ME410's got to be lucky. That Ju-88G1's in a bad spot now as well, with those three flak, yeah, the three flak 38s at double star vet due to the commandant takes down another one. So I feel like we need more anti-air coming in from Solo Wing Pixy. Now 2 of his main fighters have gone down. I don't think he's going to want to invest in that anti-air, because he's, especially in the southern side, he's going to want frontline forces to try and retake this hill. But he is going to need to invest, because if we see more of those ME410 bombers come in, he's going to find himself having a difficult time later on in this game. So Gnef just covering this central position, and he is fairly weak here in this central forest. I mean, he has the commandos, he has reinforced with the 2 pioneers, which is a great, you know, it was the right decision to make, but he is actually a little bit weak here, and potentially if pushers could come in from Solo Wing Pixy. I mean, those flak, wow, flak 38 went down there to the Panzergren's, I believe, and Gnef now moving them back. The half track's pushing forwards. There is a Panzerschreck here. Yeah, that's on the move now. Potentially we'll get the half track kills. But actually this central position, very nice for Solo Wing Pixy to pick back up. I feel like we're going to see Solo Wing Pixy advance here. The problem is there's no real flag, but it is a very important location, especially with those flak 38s there and the commandant. Solo Wing Pixy will not know this commandant's here, but definitely this is a nice position to target and to take back. It does give him leverage over these 2 southern flags here, as you can use the forest to fire downwards into those positions. I do like the advance of Solo Wing Pixy here in this central location. One of the flak 38s does take down one of the Panzergren's, and let's just look back at the south for now. No major entanglements. The Jagdpanzer firing on pioneers from range with their HE shells. The Panzergren's potentially could be looking to push forwards, but I feel like Solo Wing Pixy has enough there. They don't have anti-tank to threaten him. There's an ME109 coming in, and let's see the difference in the strafing runs. So yeah, 2-star ME109 at that. Only 1 20mm cannon, 1 soldier left, half strength on the suppression. If that was a Ju-88G1 that we saw earlier, that unit would have been completely suppressed, and at least a couple more men taken off it as well. So we see the difference between the mainstay fighters and the heavy fighters. Coming in for a second run, no. Wisely being evacuated then. That SDKFZ-71 may have taken that. In fact, it does. It does take it down. Wow. The strength of these SDKFZ-71s, I mean, he wisely evacuated then. I thought that was well out of trouble. But that SDKFZ still managed to take it down, even at the edge of its range. Another flak 38 goes down in the centre. I love the way that Solo Wing Pixy has gotten rid of those flak 38s just with infantry. However, 2 SPW-231s coming in with the auto cannons, the KWK-30L/55 20mm APHE shell auto cannon, certainly decimating everything in its way. No anti-tank on the infantry here. So actually Gnef actually 2 units as well. Gnef quickly re-establishing control. It's taken Solo Wing Pixy a little while to push into this position and push through. We've got a Panzergren behind enemy lines. It does now go down, and 2 units, 2 SPW 231s immediately counter that entire central push. Solo Wing Pixy still struggling to push back into this southern hilltop. And the longer this continues, the bigger the lead that Gnef gets. We're 14-10, 13 minutes left, and that Panzerbücher needs to get in there ASAP, because if these infantry go down, this entire flag could flip back to Gnef, and Gnef should be looking at this front line over in this central bridge. Everything's gone down. He could quickly reinforce. There's a Bergpanther, but there could be easy ground to make in that central ground. The northern positions, it's a fairly fair fight either way, and I feel like this hilltop is going to prove advantageous to Solo Wing Pixy in the long run. So I feel like Gnef really needs to just hold on to the defense in that northern sector, concentrate on the south and the central areas, and that should help him win out the game. In terms of Solo Wing Pixy, he is trying to now push back in. He does now have the Panzergrens with the Panzerfaust. This will help him against the SPW 231s and the Stug 3G down here. I like the movement of this Stug 3G coming across to cover any central position, potentially look for any flank. No, moving back, but nice, you know, he establishes control once again. A Pak 43 88mm coming in now. Look at that lovely positioning. I love this positioning. 2 Ju-88 G1s, they see the immediate threat coming to strafe that Pak 43. Yeah, we see the difference in the strafing runs there. The Flak 38 is only on its own this time, so certainly won't do as much damage. But look at this flat gun positioning. If you're playing this map in future and you have control over this area, you know, look at that positioning for a heavy AT gun. It can certainly fire all the way down this supply road from the supply load for the left hand side of the field. Will these Ju-88s come in again? No, I feel like they've lost sight, and they are now moving further across to the central area of the battlefield. Gnef, I'd like to see invest in some more AA to replace the ones he's lost. For now, it's just about keeping the Ju-88s at bay. Just about. I think he does need more AA there, definitely. So Solo Wing Pixy is once again trying to push back into this southern hilltop. I think this is probably the 3rd time he's attempted it. One of the SPWs here has been bailed out by the Panzerbücher, especially at close range. Going to be deadly against those half tracks. Oh, down goes the infantry. This Pioneer needs to move forwards. That Panzerbücher is on 1 health, and somehow he still hasn't taken down the SPWs. The first one has now gone down, but the Pioneers moving forwards are going to take it out before the second one can go down as well. Gnef reasserts control of this southern central area. That's going to massively hurt Solo Wing Pixy. I feel like that's a big hurt. 2 Elliott FH 18M 105mm artillery pieces up in that northern side need to get unloaded by Solo Wing Pixy, but we have a Nebelwerfer 42 strike coming into the northern area. I would say wow, targeted on the city. I think that's to help the advance of the Panzergrens in there, but actually there's nothing there, so a waste of this Nebel 42. The ME-410 comes in to attack the Panzer T-34, although does get pushed back by the SDKFZ-71, and I feel like that's a wasted opportunity for that Nebelwerfer 42. I can see totally what Gnef was doing. He thought infantry was in this compound. He wanted to punish it before pushing forwards, along with the ME-410 strike onto the Panzer T-34. I would have preferred the well, I mean, it's hindsight. We have the view of seeing all units, but it would have been lovely if that ME-410 would have come in onto the Panzer T-34, revealed the position of the SDKFZ-71, and then the Nebelwerfer 42 fire on that SDKFZ-71 position. That would have been nicer for me to see, but you know, we have the benefit of seeing all the units on the field and knowing what's there. More SPW 231s coming into this southern side, and Gnef's been using these really well in this tight sight-lined area where it's a struggle for Solo Wing Pixy to push back in. He's been so unsuccessful pushing back in to that southern area. I feel like it's Gnef has just managed to punish him, and really I feel like as well, more strays coming in on these Pack 43s. That is going to go down to the second one coming in any moment now. Yes, it does. ME109G4 does come in. Although, taken down to the frontal attack of that Ju-88G1. It shows how powerful these are with the 420mm cannons. If they get behind a light fighter or even in a head-on attack, they can easily take down those fighters. What I was going to say here though is I feel like Solo Wing Pixy could have moved infantry into this forest here, could have unloaded them here, moved them in, and that would have held this middle flag, this southern central flag for him. At least would have been less of a ticket bleed on him. As it is now, Gnef is 15-9 up, capturing this northern sector. 3 minutes left on the clock. The Panzer T-34-85 engaging with the Stug 3G, taking that out. A Pack 40 is coming in. It's going to attempt to take out that Panzer T-34. I think there's 2 Panzergrenz ordered in now by Solo Wing Pixy. He is going to take up that position eventually. Another Pack 40 is in though. Takes over positioning from that Pack 43 that did go down. Solo Wing Pixy advancing into this southern forest. I feel like, wow, there's just so many SPW-231s. Is this going to work? Do you know what? I am not sure. I am totally not sure whether this is going to work or not. There's just, I feel like there's too many SPW-231s here to guarantee this victory, but Solo Wing Pixy does have the Panzergrenz on them, so he can at least take them out now. The Jagdpanzer's still threatening, but he's not quite engaging. Looks like a Nebel 42. Yeah, Nebel worth of 42. Coming in and engaging the back line. Oh, lucky not to take out the Opel Blitz munitions at the back there. And, oh, wow! Look at that! Absolute beautiful Jagdpanzer kill. Was that? Surely that was. It must have been. That must have been the Nebelworth 42. Let's see whether I captured that. I may have not have captured that. It may have been too late. In fact, I don't think the replay actually registered there, so I have missed that. The SPW-231's pushing forwards over open ground, especially with the loss of that Jagdpanzer. Wow, that was such a big loss there. Yeah, and I think that was a surrender, but there wasn't much left on the clock. There was like, it was 2 minutes. Yeah, it was probably only a minute left on the clock if that was a surrender. But yeah, Gnef picks up the victory. 26 minutes, 10 seconds. Congratulations, Gnef. Commiserations to Solo Wing Pixy. Boba, it's not one of my favourite maps. However, from a casting point of view, from a watching point of view, I certainly enjoy all the games we see on Boba. So I do have to say I do like casting the matches on Boba. I don't particularly like playing it myself, although I have made some major mistakes in the past when playing on this map, so that may be clouding my judgment. So Gnef picks up the victory, 2,500 kills to 2,100 losses, and the game was 26 minutes 10 seconds, so you know, 400 points over the 26 minutes. Not a major advantage, but given that they were both Vanguard income, you know, it certainly shows Gnef did trade very well, and I think that was the thing. He did need to trade very well against Solo Wing Pixy. Solo Wing Pixy, to my mind, had the superior equipment, and Gnef was able to get a little bit more out onto the field, into some key positions, especially those anti-tank guns. Some of those anti-tank guns got into some fantastic positions very early on to take out some key units. Let's have a look at the kills for Gnef. So, Ersatztruppen taking down an early Pack 3850. I don't think we saw that, but that is a big kill for some Ersatztruppen. I'm not sure whether that was early on or when that was, but that is a nice kill for some Ersatztruppen. Pack 3850 did take out the Aufklar Panzer 3M. I think that was in the southern side, and then the Pack 40 managed to take out the Panzer T-34-85. I think that was reinforcing into the central bridgehead area. We saw a lot of these SDK, I've said, light recon vehicles with the SDK, I've said 250/8, the 250/10, and the SPWs as well. I'm sure they did a fantastic job. This one here takes out the Panzer 4H Führer, nice kill. The ME410 does pick out a Jagdpanzer 4 kill and a Panther A kill. Very nice, very nice. Pioneers here with 4 Panzergren kills. Again, very nice. The Flak 38s did take down 2 of those Ju-88 G1 heavy fighters. That did a great job as well. And yeah, just some very nice trades from Gnef. Some very nice trades. That Nebelwerfer 42 at the end got the Jagdpanzer 4 kill, along with the Panzergren. That really just destroyed any hopes that Solo and Pixy had of getting back into that southern forest. And that, along with the timer, I think, you know, there was. I'm not sure whether it was a surrender or not, but I'm guessing that, along with the timer being about a minute at that point, would have just left Solo and Pixy to throw in the towel then. Let's have a look at the kills for Solo and Pixy. Pack 3850 does take out some light recons, nothing major. The Ju-88 G1 did some great work. Look at 3 half-track kills and a Pack 40. Do not underestimate these Ju-88 G1s, that is for sure. The Berg Panther does get a Panzergren kill. That's the first Berg Panther kill I'm seeing. The Panther A actually gets the Pack 43 kill, but I think that had been decimated by those Ju-88 G1 strafing runs. What else do we have here? Just 1-for-1 trades mostly, and the Panzerbücher did get into that central forest, but too late. I think Solo and Pixy managed to get back into that central forest and start pushing Gnef back, and all it was 2 SBW 231s that kind of stunted that entire central position. I think if Solo and Pixy would have managed to hold on to that, and that attack wasn't, you know, taken out by those SPWs, then maybe Solo and Pixy would have had a greater chance to pull this game further back. But as it stood, Gnef picked up the victory, and he did pick up the victory in the second game between these two as well. So let's have a look at what that's done to the table. The game today was Gnef versus Solo and Pixy. Gnef picked up the victory in both games, gets the 3 points, and actually takes him up to 13 points, pushes him to 3rd place because of the victory over Solo and Pixy, and that potentially puts him in a possible spot well, he can certainly contend with 2nd place. Tomorrow's game, we are going to see Gonzo versus Gnef, and we'll see how Gnef gets on against Gonzo. Will he be able to potentially push out a 2nd place if he can pick up the victory against Gonzo? That will certainly take him up to 16 points. So there's potential there. There is potential there. Thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you have, please give me the thumbs up. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you don't miss any action. Also, check out the description to link to my Discord, Patreon and Twitch pages, and also post down in the comments anything you want about the games. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. You can jump in the Discord as well and chat to me on there, and yeah, let's continue coverage of Group 1 in this week, and let's close out the tournament and see how things end up. Thanks very much for watching. I am Angry Bird. I will see you next time.